Under the deal, customs duties will be eliminated for 96% of goods. This includes everything from food, agriculture, cosmetics, and medicine. The two countries established ties in 2020 as part of the US-brokered Abraham Accords. And since then, bilateral trade has increased to $2.5 billion US. Jon Medved is CEO of OurCrowd. He joins us live from Jerusalem for reaction and analysis. And Jon, it's always great to see you. Thanks for joining us. So, first of all, this is going to be the most significant trade deal that Israel has ever signed with an Arab country. Just talk me through the size and scope, and most importantly, what's in it for business?
Look, I think that this is an unbelievably important day. This deal is extraordinary in its scope and its importance. Remember, these kinds of free trade deals are only done between the best of friends and allies. And so we've come from normalization, formal, diplomatic moves to now deep friendship in less than a year and a half. And when you look at the numbers in terms of Israel-UAE trade, they're going through the roof. We are already on a quarterly basis up 8 times in just 6 quarters, right? In other words, we just finished the first quarter of the year and $1 billion of trade was transacted. Now, this is sensitive to me because I think I was on your show with you and Hadley, Dan, just after the accords were signed, and I predicted that there would be about 10 billion in trade. And I remember that some people said I was being wildly optimistic. Well, it turns out there's now already in just a year and a half been 2.5 billion in trade. And Abdullah El-Touk, the UAE Minister of Economy, has predicted that there will be $1 trillion in trade between the two countries. Now, I hope he's right. I think that's a spectacular number. But you really can't underestimate the importance of this sand curtain having come down between Israel and the UAE and the kind of momentum it's building in not just the region, but in the broader world.
$2.5 billion in trade is impressive. But Jon, what about this question of trust? Are we actually seeing opportunities being made? Are we seeing business facilitation taking place? And most importantly, are we seeing investments actually flowing between these two countries on the basis of mutual trust and understanding? Or is there still a gap there?
Look, I first of all, trust is not something you can build in a month or two, but I think there's enormous goodwill. And I see it in our business. We are not only now employing a handful of people in the Gulf, we've gotten a full regulatory status with ADGM, the Abu Dhabi Global Markets, but we are already making our first investments in the UAE. We've invested in a fund called Global Ventures out of Dubai. We're getting ready to announce a major deal, which will be 8 figures of investment in Abu Dhabi. And I would dare say there's enormous trust, and it's going across so many different areas. We're working now with groups in the UAE about the next generation of vaccines and particular boosters that are going to be oral, so you'll be able to take a pill. And this is Israeli technology going to be, scaled and manufactured in the Gulf. We're dealing with, you just mentioned on your item about pilots and shortages of airplanes. We're working with groups in Abu Dhabi on this extraordinary technology to turn around flights faster so that people can make their flights and they won't be missing these airlines. And that's going to be, again, technology co-developed by the UAE and Israel. In terms of food, we are working on growing the next generation of food to beat the worldwide food crisis. So while I think trust isn't something you just snap your fingers and it instantly happens, I think that the steps are being taken both at a political level, at a human level, that are creating trust, and this is going to lead to extraordinary business opportunities.